What up, movie lovers? Welcome back. This is Apocalypse Movies. We did not put up a movie news podcast last week, but it's because there was so much going on with Star Wars The Force Awakens. So, we found most of the news stories irrelevant, but we're going to go ahead and do a little editorial podcast today talking about one of the articles that one of our site members put up, Jake Berlin. He's not here, but Gio and I are here. And by the way, I'm your host, Jacob Bartley, and I'm here with Gio Ramos. And what's up, man?
Doing good. We just got watching The Big Short.
We just got done watching The Big Short. Pretty solid film.
Yeah, I'll say so myself.
So what we're kind of doing right now, we don't even know if we're going to put this up. We might. But we're kind of testing some new equipment we got. We finally got a new interface thanks to Jake Berlin. And if you might have noticed some technical issues on our last podcast, but this is us kind of giving a test run on seeing how our new equipment works. So we're going to talk about what franchise did the best of kind of reinventing themselves and introducing a new movie in that franchise to the world in 2015. So we had a lot of franchise reboots, but and the most recently, not reboots, I don't want to say reboots, but sequels, continuations of stories for beloved franchises from the past. I'm kind of contradicting myself because everyone's calling Star Wars The Force Awakens a reboot when it's really not, and I'm actually going to put an article up about that probably sometime next week. But so you had Jurassic World, you had Creed, you had Terminator, you had The Force Awakens, Mad Max Fury Road.
Quite a bit.
So you got those huge five. Was there any more, or was it just five?
I think it was just those five right there. But
yeah.
Definitely those are the main big ones if we're missing any.
Okay, so we all feel very differently about all these new films from these old franchises. But so Gio, I want to ask you. I know it's really tough, but if you had to choose, not necessarily what was the best movie, but which one did the best job of reintroducing this franchise to the modern world?
Boy, that's really tough. I'm very high on Mad Max Fury Road, but then again, I'm someone who wasn't really aware of the Mad Max films prior to that, so I can't go with that one, even though I understand if other people do. I have to go with Star Wars The Force Awakens. It it has a lot of similar plot beats and whatnot to A New Hope, but that's kind of what we asked for when we wanted a departure from the prequels and back to what we're used to seeing with Star Wars. And I just think about all the characters they introduced, where they could go from where The Force Awakens ended, and how they handled the original characters in this first film. I thought it was damn near perfect. I don't want to get into spoilers, but it got everyone excited to see, where they go from here. The franchise is back. We're not questioning, for Jurassic World. At least I'm not. I love Jurassic World, was great, but where do they go from here? We're not questioning that with Episode 8. We want to see where they go next. There's that.
No, I see what you're saying.
There's that energetic enthusiasm that these other films don't have. So for me, it's Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Although you can make an argument for each film on this list. I mean, maybe not Terminator Genisys, but I mean, all these other films. You can make an argument for why that should be the franchise.
No, I completely agree. I completely agree with you. I think Star Wars, not to diss any of the other films, because there's a lot of good and great films on that list, but Star Wars: The Force Awakens definitely did the best of bringing nostalgia back from the original movies.
Oh yeah.
And introducing a ton of new stuff. A lot of people keep saying, oh, they just remade A New Hope. No, they did not. It's so different. Rey is very, very different from Luke. Mm-hmm. How do people even say that? Gio, what line do you always make from A New Hope that, kind of depicts where Luke was when we first meet him?
Oh, you mean his line?
Yeah. Do it.
But I was going to go to Tosche Station and pick up some power converters.
That is the Luke you got. We meet Rey. She's a badass. She can fight.
She's a survivor.
She's a Yeah, she's scavenger. We see her whoop two. I don't know if they were raiders or sand
like
people.
local gangsters.
Yeah,
whatever.
she whooped them both and chased down Finn and knocked him down with her. We're talking about a trained soldier here.
Yeah, yeah.
So even before she even goes on her adventure, she's a badass. She's tech savvy. She knows how to fix things. She can fix and fly the Millennium Falcon.
She learned it all by herself. Yeah,
Exactly. That is nothing like. Yeah, Luke is a great pilot and he can fix things, but he's a kind of a whining kid when we first meet him.
Yeah.
So that's only the beginning of how different the Star Wars: The Force Awakens is compared to A New Hope. And I actually thought The Force Awakens mimicked the whole entire original trilogy, mostly A New Hope, but there were things in there like. I don't want to get into spoilers, but Rey's vision and then stuff at the end that mimicked Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So I feel like this was an homage to the original trilogy, and Episode 8 is going to take it in a whole other direction. So we both agree that Star Wars: The Force Awakens did it the best. So I mean, we didn't really prepare for this, so I don't want to make you rank them, but I want to say who did it second best.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I have to go with Creed. Because, all right, so they found a way to continue the Rocky franchise without completely going away from Rocky, but without making him too much of the focus.
Yeah.
You gave us a character who, the son of Apollo Creed, Adonis Creed.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan did a fantastic job.
Incredible.
Ryan Coogler gave great direction. You know, you could say there were a lot of similar plot points with that, but then again, it's the underdog story. You know, I mean, why would you want to put that to a waste? They kind of,
it's funny how
updated it a little bit.
There's so many complaints about Star Wars doing that, but I haven't heard one complaint about Creed doing that. I think it's because people want to hate on Star Wars.
Right.
But go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's Creed. You know, I thought it was great direction, great writing. Sylvester Stallone arguably gave his best performance since the first one, and you want to see what's next for them. You know, the question in my mind is, will Ivan Drago's son, who killed Apollo in the fourth movie, spoiler, will he come back and will that play a little bit? But I mean, for a first film, it was great, and can't wait to see where they go next.
Yeah, definitely, man. Look, I loved Creed, and I kind of want to go. So think about this. I'm gonna ask you, who do you think did it third best, fourth best, and maybe fifth best? But I absolutely loved Creed, but I'm actually gonna go and say that Mad Max Fury Road did it the second best on this list. And I remember watching the movies as a kid, but I wasn't old enough to understand them. But I think that's the reason why it did it so well, because I have no knowledge on the history of the world of Mad Max.
Right.
So I'm one of those people that went into Mad Max like, is it going to be able to stand on its own without prior knowledge of the previous films? And I think it really did. And I know I get in arguments with Gio and Jake about because a lot of people consider Mad Max Fury Road one of the best movies of the year, and I think it's a really good movie, but I don't think it belongs even in the top 10 films of the year.
Gotcha.
But I think it did an amazing job of being able to stand on its own and have people like me who have no knowledge of the Mad Max universe understand this movie, and I really enjoyed it. I have certain problems with it that don't even push it up there in my top of the year, but I think it did a great job.
It's definitely a cinematic experience, all the camera techniques and action sequences alone.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't realize, and that's actually my third, if you're going to ask me what my third one is.
Let's go to that.
Mad Max Fury Road. It's actually a continuation.
It is.
Of the stories.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better actor in Tom Hardy. Maybe he wasn't given as much to do in this film, but he's still Tom Hardy. He still delivers.
It was her movie. I was just gonna say it was her movie.
Furiosa. It helps that she's a really good character. I mean, if someone's gonna steal the movie from Mad Max, you have to have a good character. And again, how about George Miller coming back at 70-something years old and giving us a film like that?
I complain
that's
about
an accomplishment.
I think Mad Max is a little overrated, but I will not be upset if it gets nominated for Best Picture and Best Director. I actually think he should be nominated for Best Director.
Right.
But and I think I'm gonna say I won't be upset because you know how passionate I get about the Oscars and who gets nominated and who doesn't.
Right.
I won't be upset if Mad Max Fury Road gets nominated. I don't think it should win, but I'll understand if it gets nominated.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that was your third.
Yeah.
So my third is gonna be Creed, obviously.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And similar to I know everything about Star Wars. I don't know anything about Mad Max, and I'm kind of in the middle with the Rocky universe. I've seen them. And the one I remember the most is the one when Apollo Creed dies. Isn't that Rocky 3, right?
4.
Is it 4?
4. When
That's
he goes
the
to
one
Russia.
I remember the most. So I think similar to Star Wars, Creed did an incredible job of having the older character. Was there more than one character than Rocky that was from the previous films in the movie?
In Creed?
Yeah.
No.
The trainer at the gym that he takes Apollo to, Adonis to?
No.
Are you sure?
No, I'm
Okay,
certain. 'Cause
well,
I was looking for
regardless.
that. Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone was amazing in this film, and I think it goes to show working with director really matters because he worked with Ryan Coogler.
Oh yeah.
So, and just it did follow certain beats to the original Rocky film, and I think that was great. Similar to Star Wars, it wasn't a negative in my mind; it was a good thing. So I'll go ahead and say who I think is in fourth, and I think you can guess this. It's Jurassic World.
Same with
I
you.
actually really like Jurassic World. I don't think it's a great movie per se, but I think it's other than Star Wars: The Force Awakens, it was the most fun I've had at the movie theater this year. It was hands down the most fun, the most excitement from the crowd, and I think it doesn't have much depth or the story doesn't matter, but I don't think it needs to. I think they set up this world the best they could in this modern day, and I feel like if this really existed, if Jurassic Park was real, that this is the way the world would be headed in, with eventually the dinosaurs breaking free, and then eventually governments using them as weapons.
A lot of corporation influence at the theme parks.
That's realistic. You don't think you don't think the real government would try to weaponize dinosaurs if they could? Like, that's realistic to me. So I thought Jurassic World did a great job of same thing with Creed and Star Wars. Mixing nostalgia with new things. So, and Jurassic World is your fourth as well.
It's my fourth. The reason why I have it at fourth is because I don't think it did the homage and plot beats as good as Creed or Star Wars, but it's still a fun time at the movies, guys. I don't hate Jurassic World, not at all. I think it's good. I'll almost go very good. It definitely has that high entertainment value. And you know, all right, it's not the first film. All right, the first film will remain dear to our hearts. Steven Spielberg did something amazing with it. But as for a soft reboot that sort of continues the story, because it takes place in the same world, they go 20 years later. Pretty impressive job, especially Colin Trevorrow for his first big blockbuster film.
What is his next big blockbuster film?
Yeah, some film, Star Wars
Episode 9. So
yeah,
that obviously he did a great job if Disney and Lucasfilm want him to direct Star Wars Episode 9.
Yeah, great job.
And by default, we're throwing Terminator Genisys on this list. Definitely the worst of the 5 movies, and even the worst of combining the old franchise, trying to bring in something new. I don't think they're going to make a sequel to this.
Probably
I think it
not.
barely made them some money.
Yeah,
recently.
And
I didn't mind Emilia Clarke in it. I thought she was pretty good. She didn't
great
remind
casting.
me of.
Yeah,
she didn't really remind me of
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton, but she did a great job of being a badass in that universe. I just didn't like the way they took the story and different things, and they tried to be nostalgic, but it didn't really work. So, but I don't hate the film. I don't think it's completely horrible. It had redeeming qualities.
They spoiled the twist in the trailers. Remember?
Yeah, it had redeeming qualities, but it's not a good movie at all.
No, it tries to carry too much with it. They did something very negative with the John Connor character. I thought one of the redeeming qualities, though, was Arnold Schwarzenegger as an older T-800. He was surprisingly funny. He had his funny moments.
No, you know what? You're right. Arnold was actually the best part of that movie.
Yeah, and which, I mean, for a Terminator film, that's great. You know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But again, they didn't know where they were going. They tried to do a certain number of things. It didn't work out, and I don't know, when you try and make Jack Courtney such a central actor character, it kind of just it doesn't work out, because I don't think he's just that strong of an actor.
Yeah, no.
In my opinion.
I get what you're saying. I agree too. Maybe he shouldn't been like the second or third lead in the film, but you know that's the direction they went. All right, well, that's going to do it for this editorial podcast. Again, we were kind of testing out our new equipment, but also this is something interesting we want to talk about, and it's relevant because it's the end of the year, and these are like the 5 most prominent, franchise continuations that came out this year. I'm sure there was some more, but I can't even think of them right now. And I mean, would you have been able to include Point Break in this conversation if we had seen it?
No. I watch it. This podcast is happening right now. 2 weeks later, I'm going to go back and revisit it and tell you how terrible Point Break could be.
You really think it's going to be that bad?
I'm not sold on it, man.
Hey, it might be good. We don't know.
I hope it's good, but I don't know. Yeah.
They could have made that. If that same movie came out in the trailer and it wasn't Point Break, I think I'd be more interested.
Right.
Because it looks cool, kind of.
Or if Gerard Butler actually, played Bodhi.
Yeah, because I don't even know the actor. All right, well, you guys and girls, please let us know what movie franchise you think did it best coming back this year, and let us know which ones you're looking forward to in the future. There's going to be a lot of these reboots, remakes, continuations coming out in the future, so please let us know. Again, I'm your host, Jacob Bartley. You can find me on Twitter at Governor Bartley. On this YouTube channel, please subscribe. Please hit that like button. Gio Ramos, where can they find you online, man?
You guys can find me on Twitter at GioRamos24. And just real quick, happy holidays, guys. Hope you have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, happy holidays. You all